This is Corey.
And I'm Sharonda.
And this is Until Forever. And this is a relationship podcast. I don't know why I'm being goofy. I'm sorry, you guys.
Oh my God.
But this is a relationship podcast where we do not claim to be experts or gurus. We just want to share our journey. Hopefully it helps somebody. And we're hoping that you come around and help us too by sharing your journey with us.
Journey with us.
Okay, that's how it sounds, I guess. Anyway, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. What does that represent?
Episode 3.
Oh, episode 3. You just did one finger. Just did one.
Episode 3.
You be teaching my children stuff.
Okay, guys.
Have mercy.
We don't want the people to stop listening.
You're right. Don't stop listening, please. We hope you're still listening to us. Episode 3. And we are excited. We're going to talk about what?
What are we talking about?
So she gets to be goofy. She gets to be goofy.
This is why I don't like recording at night.
She gets to be goofy, but I can't be goofy.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're not.
We are talking about signs of a relationship that needs to end.
Yeah. How do you know it's time to walk away? How do you know it's time to walk away? Now, we believe that looks different depending on whether you're in a relationship with someone or you're actually married to someone, which we'll get into later on to see if really it should be different or if all the flags should be the same.
Run away.
You remember there was this thing
red
on,
flags.
Yeah, on social media they were going crazy.
Yeah, we weren't
with all the red flags
in.
up. No, we weren't. But it was my goodness.
Red flags.
This is a red flag. And what's funny is I think people look for red flags to like
as a scapegoat.
No. Well, yeah, but I think people want to be in crazy relationships.
Oh, gosh.
They do, because people are attracted to toxicity. Am I saying that right? Toxicity, you know what I mean?
We went through this in season 1, and here we are again.
I said that word in season 1?
Yes.
I'm sorry, guys. We talk about being toxic, and we talk about it like we glorify toxic behavior in relationships nowadays, and we tend not to want to walk away. But what are the signs? Like, how do you know it's time to walk away? Because if we're being honest, I thank God that Sharonda didn't walk away from me.
I had signs, y'all.
Because all the flags was there, Jesus.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
It was some yellow flags. It was some orange flags. It was some red flags.
Serious.
You said what?
Laughing, but very serious.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was definitely some flags. But she held on, and she did some stuff I could have walked away from.
Yeah.
You said what?
I didn't really hold on.
You did though.
I mean, once we got married, yes.
Before that, you were still holding. If you wasn't still holding, we wouldn't be here.
The reality is, if we want to go there, I gave ultimatums. I thought the ultimatums was being met.
And they wasn't.
But I was being lied to.
Red flag. Red flag.
And so I didn't realize I was being lied to until after we were married.
Yeah.
And I decided to go ahead and stay.
Which made our first couple years in marriage
the worst.
Jesus Christ. I was trying to have sex all the time. And she's looking at me like, you think I'm finna touch you? So now we make up for it. Amen. So, like, but seriously, red flags. Like, what are some things you think can happen? Like, let's just throw it out there. If you're just in a relationship with somebody, you're starting to date, and you're liking that person, you're deciding that you're going to invest your time and your energy in that person, and that person makes a mistake. What's the level of mistake that person has to make where you need to walk away?
Ooh. I don't know. And let me just say this disclaimer that Corey always gives. We're not experts. We're not gurus. We're not counselors. I don't know. And I say that because we've both witnessed and experienced different limitations that we thought we had or that we thought other people had, and then we realized, oh, that wasn't enough for you. Like, you're gonna stick it out. And then there's some other relationships where it's like that's all they did and you're gonna walk away. So I have no clue For some people, it could be cheating. For some people, it could be not returning phone calls. For some people, it can be, I don't know, going on a date with somebody else and you thought you were dating exclusively. Not necessarily sleeping with somebody else or anything like that. Just a date. For some people, it could be finding text messages where you're flirting with somebody else or something in the inbox. For some people, it could be where you realize like they actually like are talking about you behind your back, like acting like they not with you to a friend, but y'all supposed to be booed up and together. I think it just depends on for some people, it could be they don't like your kids, you know. Hey. You have kids, they don't like your kids, they gotta go.
That needs to be one.
But for some people, it's not. Yeah. Some people will put that relationship above their kids. So I don't know. I don't know. Everybody's different.
But here's one thing that I feel like should be, since you brought it up. I think kids are a big deal. And it's not just because I'm on the school board. It's not just because I have 4 children of my own. But it's literally because, you know, we don't like thinking about stuff like this, but I thought about it before. If something were to happen to Sharonda, heaven forbid, I don't think, and I don't know. We honestly don't know. But for right now, I don't think I could ever give anyone that access, not to me, but to my children. There is no way I would be able to trust someone enough to be around my kids. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it.
People are crazy.
I couldn't do it. And you don't know, what was that Tyler Perry movie? Dude was holding his kids out the window. Like,
that was based on a book, a play.
It was still crazy
for colored girls. Yeah,
you never know what's in somebody, especially if you ain't been around them all. And that's the other thing. We've been married 10 years. We've known each other 17. Is that right?
Since 2004.
Okay, so
I'm sorry for being in your ear if you're listening.
So we've known each other 18 years. That's 18, right? I feel like that's 18. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. She's using her fingers. Didn't you tell Caleb not to use his fingers? And here you are. Lord have mercy.
Almost 18 years. Yeah. A little over 17 years.
So we've known each other that long. I feel like I know her.
Oh, gosh. We have known each other a long time.
I feel like I know my wife. But at the same time, I think every year, maybe even monthly, we find new stuff out about each other. Things. And it could be something that wasn't there in the beginning.
It's developed, yes.
Yeah, we develop into different people. Absolutely change. So, you know, it took God for us to build this relationship that we have and have the level of trust in each other that we have. And you mean to tell me I would have to start over?
Yeesh.
Jesus. Ain't no way. And maybe you all feel different. There are people who feel like, you know, not for something to happen to their spouse, please no, but to leave one relationship and go to another relationship, and they're excited about the adventure of it. But I think if kids are involved, ain't no adventures to be had. You got to make strong decisions. I'm watching
you.
Are you looking at the monitor?
Yes, I'm looking at the camera.
You watching who?
I'm watching you. Like if I have kids, like you said, like if I have kids, like for you, like we got into this marriage, you already had a kid. Like, so you have to be observant about how this person interacts with your child. And do you think they're crazy enough to try something in front of you with your kid or behind your back with your kid? Like, you have to watch, male or female. You have to watch. Would they put your child in danger? Would they step in if your child was in danger? Because the bottom line is, it's some crazy people out here.
And ain't nobody gonna love your baby the way you love your baby.
No.
Nobody. Essential water is good.
I don't think we're supposed to be doing that for video purposes.
Sponsor us. I'll blur it.
Okay. Anyway.
It's
nowadays it's not like it was, 20 years ago.
No.
I remember my brother had a girlfriend that told him, she don't do baby mama drama. And he didn't have any kids, but he was just like, I had some times, what if a kid popped up? And she was like, I don't do baby mama drama. And I was like, dang, like, you ain't in this for the long haul then.
Right.
Because it's somebody he didn't even know about. And so,
it's
a different ball game when you have kids involved.
Absolutely.
And, shout out to you all who are putting
Blended
yourselves
families.
out there.
I'm sorry. That's a question, though. Is it different for blended families? Is it different? Like, it's one if you're going into a relationship, one person doesn't have kids, one person does.
I think it's harder if both people have kids. Yes, you love your child. I mean, this ain't the Brady Bunch.
That's true.
Yes, you love your child, but will you love mine? Will you treat both kids the same?
Wow, that's true.
Because the thing about, we're going to go here. The thing about Corey and I, he already had a daughter. And so, the way I was trying to implement discipline when we started our marriage, it was kind of like, was I doing it to be mean, or would I do it for my own kids? And because we didn't have kids around the same age, there was no way for anyone to know until now that we have kids that are the age that she was when we got married. And it's like, now people can see, oh, it wasn't Sharonda being mean. That's how Sharonda
really
parents. That's how Sharonda parents. And so when you have a blended family where both people are coming in with kids, then it's kind of like, do all the kids get treated the same? Do all the kids get disciplined the same?
Yeah.
Do all the kids get what's the word I'm looking for? Like, given things the same way, you know what I'm saying? Like, or is this person getting that because they're your kid and that person gets this? Are there differences made?
So is that a red flag? Should that relationship cease to exist, or do they push on because they really like each other and the kids just got to figure it out?
It's a red flag for me,
Yeah.
but I'm not in that position.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's if we can't make it, if we can't be on the same page parenting wise, and if I can't look at your children the way I look at mine, I already know there's going to be because I mean, come on, you'll deal with mess from your kids getting on your nerves, but some other kids that ain't yours getting on your nerves, you'll trip them.
And let's be realistic, it's an even harder ball game if that other parent is involved in that child's life.
Yes, absolutely.
Because we weren't going to go here. This isn't where we were going to go, but this is where we're going.
That's how the Lord works.
If you have two people, they both have kids, but typically you're looking at, if it's a female, a woman, sometimes the father is not involved in those kids' lives. Sometimes the father is. Sometimes there are multiple fathers that you have to deal with. Let's just be realistic here. Yep. But if you're dealing with a man, you're definitely dealing with the mama. 90% of the time, you're dealing with the mama. Yep. And so, does what you say even really have any weight to it on what happens with the kids? Because mama or daddy is still putting in their weight of what happens with the kids. It's a whole different ball game.
All right, so let's shift a little bit because we could stay in that vein for a minute. I think because it does kind of hit home, but infidelity, not being married, but just in the relationship, just dating.
Are you living together? Not that I.
Yeah, I no, I get it, but when we were growing up, you just didn't live together if you weren't married. Now that there's just a huge shift in that to where, and not when I say we grew up, like, because Sharonda and I are both church.
We grew up in Christian homes. Yeah, that traditional Christian homes where you do not cohabitate.
It didn't happen
before
like that.
Marriage.
And there were way more traditional Christian homes then than there are now. There are people who definitely go to church and live together before they're married. And a lot of people, for me, I think, and I'm sure it ain't this simple, but I think it's a faith thing. I think people they tend to hold on to wanting to make sure it's going to work before they say vows. Let's see what it's like for us to live together before we jump into it. But if it's from God, God is going to, Yeah. So but anyway.
Infidelity.
So I have an uncle. I'm not going to say his name. Uncle Stevie.
Corey.
Oh.
I don't know what he's going to say, and he didn't say the name.
I'm telling you, he wouldn't mind. My uncle's cool. He wouldn't mind, and he'll tell you this. He firmly believes if you're not married, you're not married. Now that don't mean mess with other people's lives like that, but it means that you shouldn't hold a person to another person if they're not making a commitment to get married. So you could say that's my girlfriend all day long. If y'all not married, y'all not married, and that's just how he was.
Even if you're engaged.
Well, that's different because you're walking into.
But you're not married.
You're not, but you're engaged to be married. Like you're walking in those steps. You're going there, which I'm really, and that's you looking at me like I made it up. That's not me. That's him. But that's how he felt. And there are a lot of people who follow that creed. Like that's what they do. Like it's, what do they call it now? It's not official. It's exclusive. Are we exclusive? Like there are levels to relationships like that. It's like, okay, we going on dates, but are we exclusive? I could date other people while I'm dating you. But Michael Todd said something that drop kicked me in my jaw. What'd he say? What'd he say?
You told
that?
me.
You remember
you the one saying it.
Okay, you're right. Michael Todd said that all dating is practicing divorce.
Oh.
Because you're getting used to.
Was that in relationship goals?
No, that was it was an interview.
Was a sermon? Okay.
It was an interview he was doing. I don't know if he said it in the sermon. It wasn't in relationship goals, but he said if you're getting used to somebody, you're figuring out if you like them or not, and then you're cutting it off, and you do that over and over again. So you're used to doing it. So then when you're married, it's nothing to you to cut them off because that's what you're used to doing. You don't know what it means to stick to somebody. You don't know what it means to hold on through thick and through thin because you've never tried it before. That's why I don't think marriage was ever anything that was supposed to be tried. It's something that's supposed to be entered into by faith with a God who could do anything.
I mean, you're taking vows, yeah.
And then, you just go regardless of, so for one, it definitely looks different, single or, married or not married. But what is
infidelity while dating looks very different from infidelity while married.
Absolutely. Because you're breaking vows when you're married. But when you're not married, you're just breaking hearts.
You're breaking a trust.
And trust, yes.
So yeah, you're breaking hearts, but you're breaking trust because you're building. The purpose, to me, when you're dating, is you're building this trust, this bond between one another. And the moment that I find out that you have been unfaithful, I now don't trust you as much as I used to. If I trust you at all, maybe I trust you to take something to the cleaners, but I don't trust you to not cheat on me anymore.
Here's my coat, but you can't have my heart.
I may trust you to run errands for me, but I don't trust you to be faithful anymore.
And you can't really build off of that until there's some repair there, but I don't think we try to fix it this day and age. I think we build defense mechanisms and we try to build off
because everything is cancel culture. You know, cut it off, move on. You could do better, and everybody's not willing to put up with the same thing anymore.
And I think a lot of that ties back into how you grew up too. Like if you're from a broken home, if you're from a home where Papa was a Rolling Stone, if you're from a home where infidelity took place and you saw the effect that it had,
you don't want anything to do with it. You don't want it. Or you will just let somebody run all over you. It's typically one or the other.
And that's what I mean by defense mechanisms, because it's either you don't want a relationship or you'll take a relationship, but your defense mechanism is I ain't gonna let them get that close to me. So you with somebody, but do you really love that person? Are you really with them?
That's true. Like for us, it was honest. We are completely healed from this point of our relationship. But for me, it was, well, what am I not giving? What am I not doing? Maybe I should do this or give this or be more like that, because then he would stop doing this. And that can go for a man or a woman. It will cause you to question yourself. And so today's age, like this generation they don't want to do that. They don't want to have self-doubt. and self-pity. And so, yes, in a dating stage of relationship, and sometimes even in marriages, they are not going to put up with it.
Nope.
I tell Corey all the time, this is the 1950s. I'm not my great-grandmother and grandmother. I'm not going to put up with stuff that they would have put up with. But at the same time, am I committed to this relationship? And so when you're dating, you may think you're committed, but technically, legally, you're not committed to one another.
No, but for that reason, I think it's important that both parties disclose their intentions in the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer, first of all, that if you're not trying to be married, and this is definitely the old school in me, but I don't care. This is what I'm going to teach my children, and this is what I firmly believe. If you're not trying to be married, you have no business dating. You have no business, building a relationship
friends
with somebody. Yes, your friend, and y'all better not be touching and feeling, because it's just going to lead to complications and mess. But if you are if you are in a place where you're ready to be married and you want to find your forever person, then you do so by praying and searching. And when you see that person, you connect with them. You make your intentions known, because everybody's different. You make your intentions. Look, I'm entering into this hoping that it progresses and becomes marriage. I ain't just looking for somebody for the meantime. I ain't looking for a rebound. I'm not looking for...
You have to be clear.
Yeah, you got to be clear. You have to be clear, because how you enter a thing really is going to determine how it goes. Because if both of y'all ain't on the same page, then when do you end up on the same page? If you on 33, I'm over on 74. Like, it's not... You're not going to ever match up until you have those difficult, hard, meaningful conversations that say, look, I know maybe we're getting too deep right now, but you need to know I'm in this for marriage. Why are you here?
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to let that be a red flag and walk away from it before it becomes something that...
Even if it hurts, because in the long run, you will just be dragging yourself down this road that is just... I forget keeping you from whoever could really want you, but like you just breaking your own heart at this point. Mm-hmm. If somebody's been clear to you that those are not their intentions.
Yes, exactly. And what always happens is it ends up going too far. Kids are involved. Family members are loving each other. You love their family. They love your family. And now, there's all these expectations on you because of all these things that have now happened. And you got to walk away from each other.
Yeah. Okay, so we said kids, infidelity, finances.
No, I don't think.
You don't think financial issues can be a reason for somebody to walk away?
No, because I'm a firm believer that you should not make a permanent decision based off of temporary situations.
What if they just got horrible financial skills and you're dating and you realize
temporary? That's something that can be fixed. If they are not willing, if they don't see the problem and they're not willing to work, to get the problem corrected, then absolutely. But I mean, that if you're saying that, you might as well be saying they should, before you start dating somebody, you should make sure that they're making a certain amount of money and their credit score is at a certain level.
Some people do that.
Some people do that.
I'm not saying you should. But
if we would have did it,
we would not.
Ain't no way in the world we would
not do this again.
We wouldn't have, because my Lord, my credit
what's
score.
Another red flag?
It's. I don't think.
You think those are the two? How you treat kids if kids are involved, and infidelity.
Those are major red flags. Another one is something that we're going to talk about in a later episode, but I'll mention what it is, and that's your level of, I guess, where you stand with your relationship with God. That's definitely a red flag. I don't know. I don't know what another one would be. Family.
We've talked about that a little bit in season 1. Just, how in-laws, family can
have
an
not
impact
temporary.
On a relationship.
They're not temporary.
They're not
Family's
going nowhere.
Forever. They're not going
not going nowhere.
If you don't like her mama, chances are you're not going to ever like her. So are you going to be able to deal with not liking her? Because that's her mama. She ain't going nowhere.
Nowhere.
And let's be clear. It takes 2 people to deal with. Because if she always got her mama back, which she should, that's her mama. but you can't stand her mama, you're gonna resent her because you're gonna feel like it's them against you.
Yeah. And that could go for any family member. That could go for, sometimes you have families where the siblings are very close.
Oh man, that's the worst.
And so it's like, it's. Have you ever seen Deliver Us from Eva with Gabrielle Union?
That's exactly what I thought about.
Megan
too.
Good, and it's like all the sisters, well, Eva says, and it's like all the sisters make their decisions together. So if you have like a close-knit family like that, which I've known of some close-knit families like that,
yes.
if the siblings don't like you, like it's like, maybe I need to bounce.
That could definitely be a red flag.
It could be an issue.
Definitely be a red flag.
So, some family relationships or friendships. You can have friendships where it's just like that friend is very controlling. Or, I guess that could be an issue where, like, run.
Anything that's temporary, I don't feel should be held against something that you're hoping to be.
I get what you're saying with finances. I actually did an interview once with this married couple when they were dating. Like, he was really good with finances and he was debt free, and he realized she is not good with money. But she was willing to work on it, and he was willing to help her, and it wasn't like this cakewalk transition, but it happened, and then they ended up getting married. So that I get what you're saying with that.
So what do you think? We want to hear from you. Comment what you think are red flags. And if you want to have fun with it, put a little red flag next to your comment.
Even though it's not trending anymore.
No,
but
it's not.
yes. So let us know. Like, what do you think is the end all be all? Like, if this happens, I'm out of here. There is no coming back from that. I got to go.
What should we call this episode? Red flags?
I guess so.
It's not trending though.
No, it's not.
What is trending? Blue?
What?
Blue flags?
Help me. Save me.
What's this?
Help me. Save me.
You know what to do. Like, share, follow, subscribe,
review, and rate if you are listening on a podcast platform.
Listen.
Oh, please stop. Stop.
I like it. It's
you
catching on.
You all told him to stop.
I think
please
it's catching
stop.
on.
It's not. We're on episode 3 and it's not catching on. I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry.
Don't even apologize. As a matter of fact, we talked about this a couple episodes ago. If I'm wrong, you need to correct me in the car.
Help me, save me.
Not in front of folks the car.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in for episode 3. We'll see you next week for episode 4.
Night.